Can you tell us your name?
My name is Circe Henestrosa, and I'm the curator of Frida Kahlo Beyond Appearances.
And how did it all come about, this exposition?
I was very interested in understanding how Frida Kahlo constructed her identity through dress and art. And this exhibition discusses Kahlo's construction of identity through disability, ethnicity, her political beliefs, and her gender identity.
And how important was Frida Kahlo growing up, because you're Mexican?
Well, I have a very, very personal attachment to her wardrobe and to her story, because I am a wearer of the Tehuana dress that Frida Kahlo has popularized, which is this ethnic dress she adopted as her logo. So when I was doing my research, it was only natural for me to look at my own roots, because when Frida Kahlo decided to adopt this Mexican dress, my aunts, who were two indigenous women from the Tehuantepec Isthmus, which is the matriarchal society where this dress comes from, they would bring Frida her dresses from Tehuantepec. So, and I started this exhibition and this research because I wanted to understand why she had adopted this specific dress as her logo. And so this is how all the journey started. Most scholars used to say that she used to adopt this dress to please Diego Rivera. But when the archives were discovered in 2002, a photograph of her maternal family appeared, all dressed in the Tehuana style. And this photograph proved that she had this legacy way before meeting Rivera. Later on, I also wanted to know how all the objects, all the orthopedic devices and her corsets also related to her choice of dress or her sartorial choices. So two events will inform that choice of dress, which was her polio at the age of 6, and then her accident at the age of 18. That then she will use these beautiful garments and fabrics to deal with her broken body, but also in art she will uncover it bluntly through her art. So the exhibition also discusses all these aspects and nuances of her concealing her body, but also revealing it to us, and how she used dress and fashion and art as a creative process to deal with all these different aspects of the female body she was dealing with in the 20s and 30s.
Because there was somewhere in the exhibit it says, she said, "I'm the great concealer."
Yes, but because she was, I'm the great concealer. Again, she's always changing dates and playing with this idea of a date, for example, that she changed her birthday to make it coincide with the Mexican Revolution, to be a child of the revolution. Or she says, "I'm the great concealer." Again, that is someone who is disguising but then revealing. And I guess at this point I would like to point out that the ethics of this exhibition is we've taken a lot of care to only show what she also decided to show us. So you see her corset pieces that she reveals them through the photograph, or she painted herself with the corsets. Then we will place the corsets and those relationships together as a curatorial decision. For me, this exhibition is different to your typical paintings exhibition of the artist, because this exhibition not only discusses the artist, but also the woman behind all these objects. Me being a fashion curator, I was looking at her construction of identity, my materials were her garments, her dresses. And I was looking at painting and photography to understand her styling. So I immediately understood how all these objects related to each other. So the way she dressed is the way she painted herself, the way she photographs herself and posed for photography, the same way she intervened her corsets, almost as an act of rebellion, that she created those corsets as pieces of art, as a second skin. So that means that if she wanted to take her huipil off, she could wear her skirt, and this became like a blouse. So all these relationships I started looking, and that's why I decided to put all these objects together, because all her modes of creative production inform her construction of identity. Dress, art, photography, corsets, makeup, garments, it's all related.
And her father was a photographer.
Yes.
So she started somewhere downstairs, it says.
Yes.
She was a poser.
Yes, exactly. So my other colleague, our advising curator for the show, Ganit and Kori, we had this the theory. It's something she pointed out to me, that the relationship with her father was very, very close. When she had polio, the father would encourage her to exercise and for her not to feel defeated, because she was bullied and called like peg leg. And so the relationship with her father as a photographer, not only as a photographer but as her dear father, was very close. So the relationship with the work is because the father took a lot of portraits of himself and took a lot of portraits of the family. So you can see how she was already used to him making a lot of self-portraits and photographing her, and she started creating this, being very conscious on the way she was posing. And you see in some of the photographs where she does the three-quarter gesture, that then she emulates in most of her self-portraits. So that means that proves that since she was little, she was already very conscious of the power of clothes. Because, for example, she describes how she would wear 3 to 4 socks to level her leg differences, and she started using long skirts, establishing a relationship with her body and dress from a very early age. And also she started being very conscious on how to pose, how to, the bows she will wear. And then you see the other set of photographs also taken by her father, when she is posing already with a 3-piece suit. This
All
is
right,
in 1926.
Yeah.
So you see how she's consciously using garments to portray and deal with her different identities. And so this 3-piece suit, this is 1926. So she's dealing with gender fluidity and all these type of discourses that when in 1926, when the academic discourses didn't even exist to explain all these things we have today. So I think it's incredibly interesting how the power of clothes, how conscious she was, and how she used clothes as a vehicle to portray different aspects of her identity. The Tehuana dress as the Mexicana, the 3-piece suits as her binary, non-binary, identity, and how she creates a hybrid persona, which is so contemporary today, that you see today. We also established the relationship with contemporary fashion, because she has been adopted by popular culture, by fashion designers, and we decided also to deconstruct the themes the same way we did downstairs. So, for example, we're talking here about androgyny and this amazing collection that we see here of Richard Quinn, which is very transgressive. and his approach to gender fluidity and with the masks and so I find it fascinating that we could draw so many parallels with her wardrobe in contemporary fashion, which I think is very important for us to create those bridges as well for younger audiences to understand why why it's important to talk about Frida today, because of all the messages she conveys. We are discussing discourses around disability, ethnicity, gender fluidity that we can articulate through fashion, and she was doing it well ahead of her time.
And talking about education, you also instruct students in Singapore. Can you tell me something about that?
Yeah, well, for me, it's very important. Yes, I direct the fashion programs at La Salle College of the Arts in Singapore. And for me, it's very important that the students get inspired, that they understand fashion curation as a curatorial skill that they can use in whatever space they need. I use it in the context of the museum space, but they can use it applied to film. For me, the curatorial space becomes a film, becomes a photo shoot, becomes a book. So I convey this, I share this knowledge with them on the way I see things, so they can also see things the way they want and use the skills to create their own visual narratives and hopefully powerful narratives that can contribute to the fashion debate. So one of our students won in your competition with her film, Sabrina, and we were so happy that you chose her work, because that shows that you can identify their creativity and that they are proposing hopefully new ideas or again new debates in fashion.
Well, great. In closing, I'm expecting more films from your students.
Yes, we will submit more, and we hope to have more interesting work in your amazing competition.
And excellent. And bravo.
Thank you.